Okay, welcome to my SSDC class 4 lesson 1 recap. Alright, so today I have my first class 4 lesson at SSDC this morning at 8 a.m. So for those taking class 4 for the first time, alright, okay, you will report to level 1. Okay, then there's a big screen. Look at the big screen. Okay, big screen. Okay, and then the big screen will show your name and then the vehicle number, right? Name and then the vehicle number. Okay, and then you wait, right? Down there you wait for instructor. Down there you have the instructor from PCDC and then also SSDC lah. So once they come down around 8 plus, then they'll call up the vehicle number, then you go to them, right? So my instructor is quite nice. His name is Mr. Tan. So the first thing he told me, he was asking me about my TP date, you know, so what to do on the day of TP itself. I have to arrive 30 minutes before my test time, and then the TP will call us into the briefing room, okay, and tell us how is the test conducted. So so generally after the briefing room, I think they will test your rope tying first. That's the first stage. Okay, and then the height estimation. Oops, terrible handwriting. Okay. And then next it will be going through the circuit, and then the road, and then go to, I think there's another room. Then you do the theory there, right? They'll ask you some about the road sign. Then after that, the instructor quite interesting. He said that regardless of result level, pass or fail, go to level 3. You know, okay, I forget what's the reason. So that's the whole sequence. All right. So the first thing that we did today, the first thing that I did was rope tying, right? So I already made a video, which I shared previously on my own DIY setup, right? So I did the rope tying. So that the one is part of the test. So the instructor said not every day, every session, right? He will want to test. I mean, the instructor may be different day to day, I mean, but generally the instructor will want to see how we do our rope tying in during the lesson, right? So that's the first thing that we did. Then the next one is height estimation, which is very interesting. Okay, there's some information that I will share. All right, so the height of we were using a lorry, right? The height is 2.4 meters. The length is at 6.6 meters. Okay, I forget the width, right? So generally, right, we are looking at this one, the height. Okay, what's with the height here? Okay, for the height, right? Okay, what happened is I believe how the test is conducted is that the instructor will actually use a pole. Okay, and then the pole, right? Okay, there's a metal pole there, and then there is some red marking there. Okay, and the pole there's some red markings there. All right. So what happened is the instructor explained to me that each of the red marking, right, is actually 50 cm. Okay, so this is 50 cm. And I think the tester maybe, you know, he will raise up the pole on top of this the height of the lorry and ask, okay, estimate what's the total height. Okay, remember the keyword is total height. Okay. So what Mr. Tan taught me today is how to do estimation, right? So I'm gonna show you something very interesting, which is quite true, you know. I oops, wrong. Can I just show you? So he taught me how to. Oops. Okay, he taught me how to do estimation, right? Okay, I think my line is not very nice. Okay, redo again. Sorry about that. Okay, there we go. Nice straight line. Okay, so this is the pole, right? So let me see. Let me add meters. Okay. Okay, so what he showed me is okay, one what you call one piece around the one piece, right? Okay, let's say that the one piece length, right? All right. Okay. Let me see if I can go behind here. So there is all right. Just nice, good. So one piece is around 10 cm, right? So what happens is around 50 cm, right, is around 5 piece. So what happened is the tester, right? Okay, not say would give you 50 cm. Sometimes you have to estimate like, okay, how many fees, this, let's say that if there's 2 fees, okay, this is like this is like 2.5 fees. Maybe I shouldn't. Okay, maybe I shouldn't put too high. Okay, maybe I should put a bit lower. Okay, I think here this would be a good 50 cm. So this is around 2 fees, right? And then this is around 3 fees. Example. So this is how it denotes that this is actually 50 cm. So 1 fees is 10 cm. Okay, so you when the tester, right, sometimes you put this okay, I just draw the side view of the lorry, right? The side view. Okay, very rough sketch here. So there's a cage here, right? There's a cage here. So the lorry's wheel is here. Okay, so this is a cage. So from the cage to the bottom here is 2.4 meters. So the tester, I believe that's what happened, because that's how Mr. Tan tested me this morning. So he put the pole here. This is a very long pole. So you just say that, okay, then he want me to estimate, let's say that this is the marking, right? Okay, well, okay, example, right? So he said, okay, what is the total height? So we're looking at something what we call the total height here. Alright, so I must see, okay, this is 50. This is 50 cm, remember cm. So this is 50 cm. Okay, so from this height here, you see, I think this is maybe 1 feet, and this is around 40 cm. So the total here is 190 cm, right? 190, 150, 150, 150, sorry, 50, 50, 50, and then 40, right? Example, let's say that this is from the top, it's measured from the top to here. All right, so it is 90 cm, which is 1.9 meters. So it's when the tester asks you, right, you need to total up, so you need a bit of math. So you must say that the height is actually 4.3 meters, right? 4.3 meters. Remember, the unit is important, right? He will test the unit. So you say total height is 4.3 meters. So that means based on the estimation, you think that it's around 4.3 meters, right? So because for this overhead bridge, the limit is 4.5 meters. So you must know how tall your goods can stack. Nobody will stack so high, but generally, let's say that if you're driving something very tall, right, you must know if you hit the limit, right? So that is for the part about what we call height estimation, right? So 1 feet, remember 1 feet is 10 cm, and then one so-called 1 mark, oops, not again, and then 1 mark here is 50 cm. So you have to estimate, and I mean, he won't be so precise until like the next year. But then let's say that somewhere, if he says that he was trying to say that if you realize that one part is longer and one part is shorter, you have to do estimation and say this is like 2 feet and then this is 3 feet, So you must so-called be able to estimate, right? So let's say that if we put down here, okay, you say that it is 0.2 meters extra, you know. So that means 0.2 plus 2.4 meters, which is our this lorry height. So that's 2.6 meters, right? So definitely you need this info lah. So that is the part that we learned about today, height estimation. So after that, then he taught me about the mirror, the side mirror. So what is about the side mirror? In the lorry, right? Okay, I draw from the top view, right? Sorry, I draw a bit boxy lah. Okay, the mirror, right, is actually from the front. Okay, the mirror is something like that. Okay, and then here got the one more mirror. Got 3 mirrors, right? I'm from the top view, right? Top view. I'm looking from the top. Okay, so this is the lorry. This is the back. So the mirror is here, right? You can see. Okay, this mirror, right? There's this small mirror. So what happened is, let me just roughly sketch for you to see. There's one big mirror by the side, and then one round one, which will help to see the front. This mirror here will see the front portion here. Then I was asking, hey, why do we need to see the front? Then he said, because based on the height of the lorry, we are a bit too tall, right? So what if someone is right in front of it? Let's say the bus stop, you know, then passenger may go down, and then maybe one kid run in front and you didn't see, and then he's tying his shoelace, he kneel down. You totally cannot see. Alright, so that is a blind spot. So this is a blind spot. Okay, so the how we overcome this is this small little round should be a convex mirror, round one, okay, to let you see the front. Okay, and then the side mirror, right? Okay, you are the driver seat is here, so the instructor is sitting next to me lah. Okay, sorry lah, it looks a bit quite crappy. But what happened is, when you're checking blind spot, right? When we check blind spot, normally I just turn my head and then I see it like that, right? Normally, right? But for lorry, right, you have to, as what we did during my 2B, we have to check over our shoulder. Okay, check blind spot. Okay, for the blind spot, right, to our right, you check over shoulder, your right shoulder. Okay, no point for turning your head, because really what this mirror is actually very long and very longish, right? Very longish. You can see a lot, but then it's really the width. So sometimes when you turn your head, right, what if just nice there is one vehicle, especially motor here, you totally cannot see, right? So the instructor really tests with me today. I mean, he was standing here, then I was checking the mirror, I can't see. Even I turn my head, right, I really, due to the setup, the frame of the lorry, right, I cannot see. He's here, no? Then I turn my head a little bit more, so I must check over my shoulder. That is for me checking over the shoulder. Okay, then what about my left hand side? How do I check blind spot? Okay, for what other people did is they actually install more mirror, but then at the back of the lorry here, right, there is an opening. I just draw for you. There's an opening where you can see, this is a glass opening. You can see the back. Okay, so there is a, okay, let me just try to draw a frame here. There's a window frame here. So when you look, right, okay, I'm a bit far lah. I think my drawing is not towards scale. But when you turn, right, you turn your head and then you try to look through this mirror, this window, to cover the blind spot here. Blind spot here, right? So we did the test this morning. Okay, maybe not so much lah. Maybe I should make it a bit more realistic, the scale, right? Do apologize for that. Okay, it's not so back, so maybe the back is somewhere here, more like this, and then the frame is here. Okay, it's a window, right? It's just a window. So when you look, right, you turn your head this way, you check over your shoulder towards this side, you open up and then you see. This is your blind spot. You try to check your blind spot through this little window here. Okay, because if anything else, right, if you see your view, your angle of view, right, you technically can see here when you are turning to check, you can check a bit of here, you can check this area here, but what you are fearful is actually vehicle coming from this direction, so you need to check over the window panel for the left blind spot, and I put BS check through, okay, very messy, the window lah, this window at the back. Okay, I apologize for the messiness, right? I'm just trying to recall the lesson. So this is for blind spot checking. So remember, so I just try to do a summary for you. So for the mirror. Okay, so one more thing, before you start your vehicle, you check your mirror. You have to check your mirror, make sure that you can see the. Okay, how much to see? Okay, very good, very good point. I was asking myself, what? Okay, so you must at least see the lorry. Okay, in this portion, no need the full frame, less than half. Okay, so this is the full mirror, right? Okay, how much to see your vehicle? All you need is somewhere around, could be 1/4 or 1/3 of the mirror. Okay, that's a rough gauge. 1/3 is a lot, but it can be between these two, right? So as long as you can see part of the body, and then for this one, right? Okay, the instructor also mentioned that you should when you lean back, you must at least see the back wheel. Okay, so at a certain angle when you're sitting here, you look at the mirror, right? The mirror, when you lean back a little bit, you must be able to lean back and away in this direction. You must be able to see this back wheel, and then there's one white marker here, one small little plastic, okay, which it is quite visible. You must see at least this marker, this one, and then the back wheel, right? That is how the mirror works, right? So for the rest, you must at least see the tail, okay, which you will be able to see through this this side mirror, okay. So that is the setup for the mirror. So yeah, that's about the key thing that that I learned today. Okay, what else that I learned? Okay, when turning, right? Okay, yes, steering. Okay, for the steering wheel, right, of this lorry, right? Our normal car is 2 round, right? Normally we turn 2 rounds, 1 and then 2. That's it, the full turn, or 2.5 round. But for lorry, a full turn is actually 3 round. 1, 2, and then 3 round. This is a 3 round. This is a 2 round for cars, right? For lorries, it's a 3 round. So it is a much the turning. But something that I realized about the turning, you must be very fast. You must you cannot turn too much, and then once you turn, you must turn back quite fast. I mean, I'm still learning this part of the turning. Okay, the worst is actually turning left and right, because you see in lorry, you not just must watch your front. Okay, one thing, for lorries, right, our wheels is beneath us where we are seated. Okay, the wheels is beneath us. But for a normal car, right, the wheels is actually the front. That's the difference. So the viewpoint, the decision to when to turn, right, is very different. Okay, if you have a chance to drive a bus, right, the instructor is sharing with us. For a bus driver, the wheel is behind. Okay, that's how interesting it is. This is for a bus. Okay, bus, lorry or truck, right? And then this is a car. So the different position will make you think when to turn. Okay, so back to our class 4. So for turning, right, turning left turn, left turn, let's say, I think this is not nice. Okay, left turn. Let's say something like that, right? Okay, when we're turning, be watchful. Okay, when we're turning, right? Don't turn too fast. Generally, we have to make sure that both lane is clear, because when we turn out, right, we may sometimes exceed the line, because we may thinking, hey, why we need to exit? Because we need to clear the back. We need to clear our back wheels. Quite a lot of time, right? My back wheel is very, very close to the curb, and then the instructor is like saying, hey, you be watchful, right? You know when to turn. So when I was trying to turn, so what happened is, for turning, I must sort of go really straight out first, almost like outwards. Okay, this part I'm still trying to master. Maybe tomorrow when I have my lesson 2, I'll practice more. So turn out more, and then I start turning, and then I have to use, actually, you see, it's a left turn. Okay, left turn, a lot of time we not only look at the traffic here, we have to look at the mirror here to check make sure our back wheel here and the curb is not too close, right? That is for a left turn. For right turn, so far I'm slowly getting the grasp of it. Okay, what else is interesting? Oh yeah, it's the gears, right? Okay, I just draw for you how the gears look like. This reverse, 1, 2, 3. Oops. Okay, I think there's a 4, and then there's a 5. I never tried gear 5. Okay, is there more? I think no more. Okay. so the neutral, I think there's one more gear here. I cannot be too sure, right? So neutral is here. This is neutral. So when we start, right, our neutral is here, the gear stick, right? So when we want to push gently and then up, we start with gear 2. Shocking. Okay, when we learn class 3, okay, we start with gear 1. We always start with gear 1, but then for class 4, alright, we start with gear 2. That's the interesting part. Then after that, once we move off, change to gear 3. Okay, when changing, don't just pull down. You sometimes have to use a little bit of force to keep the gear stick back, because most of the time when you try to release the gear stick, right, the spring or what, you try to come back to this position. So sometimes you need to retain a bit of force to shift down to gear 3, and then when you go to gear 4, you just push it up, let it release back, and then slowly go up. Okay, so then what is gear 1? Gear 1 is not to start. Gear 1, he apparently told me gear 2 is powerful enough to move off. Then I'll say, then what is the use of gear 1? Then he say, if you have very heavy load, then you okay, he didn't explain too much. Maybe tomorrow or day after when I learn about slope, I can ask more. But most of the time he say gear 1 is very powerful. It has a lot of power. So I presume that it's for heavy load going up a slope, maybe, or maybe you have a lot of load and then you cannot move off. That's a possibility lah. Okay, so if you really want to go to reverse for parking, it is really a hard push. You push once and then push again. Okay, make sure it's full to the side, to the end, and then you go up. Okay, the good thing is, I hope all the lorries are the same. When you go to reverse gear, right, there's a beeping sound. Okay, there's a beeping sound, beep beep beep. Okay, so we know that we're in reverse gear, not in gear 2. Okay, so that's something I learned today. Interesting. So something about junction stopping, right? I'm trying to recall as much as I can, right? So let's say that this is our junction, our stop line, okay, and then dotted. So there are 3 arrows, right? Let's say that there are 3 arrows. Okay, I try to recall whatever was taught today. So if we're approaching, right, down here we can be in gear 4. Okay, and then use engine brake. Don't press the accelerator. Okay, down here is a control junction. Okay, so if it is still green, alright, you approach the junction in gear 4, but you don't step on the accelerator anymore. You just release the accelerator, use the engine braking, and then when you're reaching here, you change down to gear 3, third gear, right? And then use the engine braking, and then you decide. You see if you should so-called stop lah. If let's say you change the amber, then be ready to stop, right? If not, right, by the time you pass to this arrow and it's still green, go ahead, step on the accelerator and then move off. Alright, so third gear here is engine brake. That means you change to the third gear, engine brake. Don't step on the accelerator, just change, and then you move. You'll definitely move. Don't worry about engine stalling. You'll move, right? And then at this junction, right, if still green, just press on the accelerator, just move off. Alright, if it turns amber, right, then you just step on the brake and then your clutch. Okay, a few times my lorry actually the engine is actually knocking, really about to stall. So the instructor say, okay, you should brake a little bit, let the engine brake, because the key to class 4, I realize, is all about the clutch control. I mean, for manual cars, it's all about clutch control. So the clutch and then a bit of the accelerator and the brake lah. Okay, so clutch is always there, then of course the accelerator and then the brake. You learn to play with these two. So I haven't touched manual car like since I passed my class 3 almost like 20 years ago. Okay, I've been driving auto lah. So I actually admit that to the instructor. So anyway, so back to it is step on the brake, engine brake, and then step on brake a little bit. If it's slow enough, you just clutch in, and then you can stop in gear 3. Third gear you can stop, and then when you're about to then change to gear 2, get ready to move off, right? So for turning, right, when you turn, you can turn in third gear. That is the interesting part. Okay, so technically I was trying to clarify the instructor lah. So in class 4, our gear 2 is like our class 3 or class 2B lah. It's our gear 1. I mean, the way I see it, right? Then our gear 3 is actually gear 2. Gear 4 is actually gear 3. See the differentiation? The difference. So that is how class 4, because the engine is very powerful. That is how what's happening. Alright, that's what, something that I learned today lah. Alright, so that's all the key highlights. Did I miss out anything? So yeah lah, I'm still learning height estimation, road tying. Then today, quite fortunate, I was turning through the circuit, and in the circuit in SSDC is very narrow. Okay, so you have to really look ahead. Okay, at some, especially the turns, all the turns, okay, you must really look ahead, and then we stop. Sometimes you because what happens is for SSDC, right, the lanes is like that. So let's say if there's a big vehicle here and then you're here, right? If he is about to turn, you stop. You don't turn. No two big vehicles should be turning at the same time. Okay, so one of you had to give way. So we see who stop first or who go first. Alright, so this is something that I learned today. So I think there's a slow sign or stop sign. I think there's a slow sign. So generally at every of the turn there's a slow sign. So when you're approaching, you see right ahead, if there's a vehicle already moving, you just slow down and then you stop at the slow sign. Let him complete his turn, then you do your turn. Right? So yeah, that's all I learned today. Then after that we went on the road. Quite surprisingly today, my first lesson. Haven't touched a manual car for like 20 years, and then I start driving on the road. Oh, quite nervous. Right? Yeah lah. I think it's quite fun. I also heard from other people that it's not easy to pass. So yeah lah. Also get a bit nervous. So yeah. So within these few days, I must remember all about my manual driving, and hopefully I can clear up. Alright, so I will try to do one more for tomorrow lesson. Tomorrow is my lesson 2, right? So yeah, that's all right. Thank you.